Oh. That's probably good. And I think we're live. Wait for a few people. Get the chat up. That looks good. That looks good. Okay, people are joining up. Hey guys, it's me and Eric this week. Wes is sick. Not bad, not any of the crazy stuff, but like he's sick today, so unfortunately I have Eric.
I'm the standard sit-in.
Yeah. Okay. Our standard fill-in character, Eric.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Background.
Just have that going. So,
Yeah, that's cool.
you guys post up your questions and we'll get into it. What's up, guys? What's up, man? What's going on?
Not much.
Nothing much. The king himself.
Yeah, I have returned. Return of the king.
Did you see the Mando episode?
Not yet.
I haven't either.
Not
I think,
yet.
I think that's why Wes is sick.
Yeah.
Because season finale of Mando.
Oh, we know back about working there, sure.
Yo, I got an email back.
I'm sure we'll hear about it if we haven't
hope
yet,
I get
so.
hired and can work with you. Yeah, if you please work with us.
Everything is in fact local, though. We don't have any online remote work, so you must be in striking distance from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
How do I protect my real EOTech from having a 10-year-old shoot it out? Lexan. Go to your Home Depot. Go to any Home Depot. Get like an $8 sheet of Lexan. Use a Dremel. Use a hacksaw and cut a rectangle out and put it in front of your sight.
If you're not tool inclined, they actually sell Lexan covers on Amazon for EOTechs. So look up your model and they'll probably have one that clips right in. Or send it.
Yeah.
A lot of us just send it. So
yeah,
Wes does. Wes just.
If you're outdoor playing, just send it.
I agree.
If you're like in a building and you're in a hallway, just send it. You know, forget about that it's a real optic.
Absolutely.
Let's see.
Restock. Hey, guess what? Good news. We now have the Amped SOP XL.
Is that what we actually
That's
call
what it's called in the system. So our standard SOP component is grossly out of stock everywhere. So we have resorted to a slightly bigger one. It probably won't make that much of a difference in your pack or place where you hold your tanks. But at the same time, we do have them back. So hit up our website, search SLP XL. It'll come up. So there's almost 200 ready to go right now. So check it out.
Trying to get you guys something for the meantime while we're waiting for supplies to come back in, but it will perform exactly the same way.
Perfect.
You just got a little bit bigger of a footprint, but ultimately you're still getting the exact same quality performance and you still have access to a really good part.
It's about a half an inch on each fitting longer. Yeah. So it's not like the size isn't that much bigger. It's just us, trying to make sure we fulfill the need for rigs. So
yeah. I got one over here. You guys coming out with any new custom rifles soon? Actually, I do have a list of rifles that we carry in our catalog that we don't currently HPA that we are going to start HPAing. We were trying to get caught up on our backlog before introducing some new SKUs, but we will be adding in some new cool items. I really want to get to a point where anything that we carry, we HPA outside of some of the weirder guns. So like if we carry like an AUG or Tavor, bullpup stuff, we're probably not going to really do. The only one we might do is the MDR because it's pretty seamless to HPA that once you figure out the electronic components. But I really do want to get to a point where anything we carry in our catalog, we do carry an HPA custom version of it. It just also gets a little crazy because then demand goes up and then we have to have enough labor to meet that demand. So we do add things on kind of slowly as we increase our labor, just because we want to make our build times stay normalized now. We got kind of crazy around Black Friday and we're trying to make sure that doesn't happen again and be preemptive with labor. So just trying to keep that under control, as well as, also be innovating and adding new things. So you guys get some fresh stuff or you guys want some niche stuff that might not be able to get anywhere else. So trying to still do that for you guys.
Ambitious, but possible.
It is.
We need some Stoner 63 now. Well,
if they're in, grab one.
I highly doubt we're going to get them anytime soon.
They're really hard to get in.
If ever again. So if you missed them, keep your eyes out.
Yeah.
It might happen again, but not in the near future.
No,
unfortunately.
it's going to be, it was really hard to get that shipment that we got in. It's going to be probably still just as hard to get more of them in.
And the difficulty of getting them in has probably turned us away from doing it anytime soon, unfortunately.
Yeah. Will y'all be getting the Gate Pulsar Titan 2 sets anytime soon? So again, we've answered this a few times in the live. We should be getting them in within the next month or so. We should have had some in already, but there's been some delays. So just keep an eye out. We'll keep you guys updated as much as we can once we get a new concrete date. But right now, they should be in within the next month or so is what we're hearing. But from my testing, they are great. The Titan 2 is absolutely awesome. The optical sensors are the exact same quality. You just now can integrate HPA into it, and the HPA integration is very, very easy to work with. So that's all a plus. Afternoon, boys. Hey, Remy, what's going on? Your stoner is currently on my desk being opened and worked on. There you go.
Should arrive with all the other Stag Ops things that Mitch left us at Iron Horse. So
yeah,
we're hoping.
We're just going to be carting up a bunch of random stuff to Stag Ops.
Yeah. We're going to sell it if he's not there. So working with Tyler to get the HPA TR16 set up and ordered. Awesome. Tyler, I'm sure Tyler's helping you out.
Yep.
And he is a great resource. Here's the issue. I play CQB and I need both sides protected. You can probably still cut the back.
Yeah.
For Lexan. It's just going to be, honestly, if you're playing CQB a lot, I mean, you don't have to necessarily use it, which isn't ideal. I get it. You're trying to use the things that you've bought. But I know personally I wouldn't risk a real EOTech at indoor fields.
The thing with
that's my personal, you do what you do, but I just
you can definitely
maybe not worth it.
You can Lexan both sides. You can definitely Lexan both sides. Now, the one thing that you need to compensate for in a CQB environment is, one, that EOTech is going to be have a little bit of blurriness because you have two panes of Lexan now in front and in the back, and you're looking through one of them before you see that reticle. The other part of that is if you are ever going to try and use that with night vision, which is what a lot of people use EOTechs for, is because they're a really, really good night vision sight. If you're going to be trying to run that with two panes of Lexan in front of that very clear glass that EOTech uses, you're going to not have as good of a time as if you were not using shields. Now, you want to protect your $400, $500 investment. I understand that. But recognize that if you put those panes of Lexan in and you're only using a monocular for night vision, you're probably not going to be able to aim passively. If you have duals, you can kind of use the Binden aiming concept, which is like I can put the reticle in one tube and see everything using both eyes. You can get away doing that. I know dudes do that, especially with some crappier sites that don't have as good a glass. You can get away with it. But that's just something to keep in mind. And you definitely can cut two pieces of Lexan and attach them either with electrical tape, some type of adhesive if you want, to the outer shielded part of the EOTech. You don't have to glue it obviously to the thing and make it a permanent feature on your EOTech, but you can do it onto the like arched shield that goes over an EOTech. And then you could have maybe two shields, one with Lexan and one without Lexan. That's an idea. But that's the way that that would be the best way to tell you to protect that site, is just using a sheet of Lexan. There are some pre-made ones, but to be honest, most of those are a very thin plastic. They will work, but they're probably like a one-time use thing. If they get shot out, it protects your glass, yes.
Yeah, notice it.
But yeah, after that, you might need to be replacing that constantly, depending on how many times you get shot at. So,
Lane says, "How do you avoid being kissed on the mouth by Eric? This is a legitimate concern." Well, unfortunately, that would be like Superman telling his enemies that his weakness is kryptonite. So, I'm not going to disclose the information. You don't. Yeah, correct. I currently do live in Oregon, but I don't mind moving to Pittsburgh. That is a far. Make sure you want to work here first before you move across the country.
Yeah, I know. Stuff's been happening in Washington State with guns and stuff, and Oregon, I think, is kind of trying to do the same thing. But
I'm not saying don't do it.
Yeah,
that's a far distance to move.
Make sure you want to move your life to the
Berg.
Yeah, move to the Berg. But if you want to, and you're, maybe we can talk about that.
When will RPK 16 drums mag be back in stock? I have no idea.
Probably our next shipment from LCT, which we are.
Evic.
Yeah, our
through Evic.
Yes, probably sometime next month, if not the end of this month. I think we have another Evic shipment coming in.
I haven't seen him in a minute, so
they've been getting a lot faster.
We're probably due for him.
What was the other one?
What?
The MP7 one?
Oh, did I miss one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Best HPA setup for MP7. What model is the best HPA? It's a Tom question.
I have a bingo kit jack in my MP7. I have a TM MP7. I've also messed with the VFC MP7. I really do like the feel of the plastic and the body feel of the VFC MP7. I really think it's a lot more one-to-one with a real MP7. That being, and the magazines are a lot easier to find as well than the TM ones. That being said, the only way to really get an HPA MP7 right now in the States is the what are they called? The BCI Industries makes one, like a drop-in kit. And
they just advertise it on their Instagram.
Yeah, so I would take a look at their stuff. I have seen it's very new, so like any new product, there's probably going to be some development bugs that they're still working through. Even though it's a new product and it's out, there's probably going to be some kinks that people are noticing. So right now, the tried and true is the TM MP7. If you want something that works and works well and has been in the market for a very long time, I would go the TM route. If you want something that is going to try and give you as close to the real thing as possible, but you want that performance of HPA, I would go with the VFC MP7. Just recognize that it is a newer product and it might not have all the features out of the box. Like I don't think they have right now the working bolt catch fixture or the empty mag detection. I could be wrong about that. Don't quote me on that. I just have had a few in my hands, and I know the bolt catch feature wasn't a thing yet. I think they're working on it though. But as far as I can tell, that it shoots fine. I just think there's some stuff that might need worked out still. So just keep an eye on those. And like I said, if you want something tried and true, just grab a TM and go grab the bingo kit that is now like the Junkie kit. So get it off of Junkie's website, and then you can have your MP7. Remy says heart. Yay.
Remy, right back at you.
When will the first Strike HPA tanks come back in stock? Strike's been a little bit weird with getting a stock lately. So not like a negative thing. It's just like supply chain stuff. Like this happened.
They moved. I think they're the ones that moved factories.
They did.
So waiting on them to settle. And
yeah, the supply chain with them is going to be a little bit weird for right now. We can get some in. We might get a big delay. Just depends on how their move is going. So if you see them on the website, grab them while you can. We probably are going to have a few in here in the next month or two, but not guaranteed anything yet. So I would just say keep those notifications, those email notifications on, and keep checking our website until they come back in. When we have some confirmed information, we'll say it on the live, or we'll just do an email blast.
Usually this is a good way to get information first too, though. So as we find stuff out,
this is how you get the actual info.
If you could sit through an hour of us rambling, or Wes and him rambling, you could potentially get some insider information.
You can deal with our autism. You can definitely get some core pieces of information.
I forget he has no filter whenever I'm in front of the screen.
Yes.
30 minutes or 15 minutes in. You guys getting any tagging grenades anytime soon? Fortunately not. This is a question we get a lot in the DMs.
Nope.
We get a lot in the store, a lot in the trailers. Trust us. We want it just as much as you do. I had a whole plan set up to, build my stock, my personal stash. But as soon as we got our first shipment, it was
I'll be honest, the only real way if you want to get tag-ins, you have to be part of a government agency or police agency that wants to use them for training, and then you can get us a letterhead that says, hey, this is my department requesting so many of these grenades, and then we can talk to our distributor to get them in for that reason only. That would be the only way for us to get them in currently. They are working with the ATF right now to get everything buttoned up on that end. Originally, it was a DOT issue. Now they've publicly stated they are working with the ATF on some stuff. Once that is all done with, hopefully we will start to see it flow in the way it used to. Might be some modifications like we are already seeing with the P-top forms, which
Make sure you do them.
Do them.
I mean, to prepare for them inevitably coming back, hopefully. Go to Tag's website, fill out the PTOP form so you're ready to go.
Yep.
Because we're going to require, obviously, that you do that.
Yeah, because
if
if
it's in the trailer, that's online, that's in person.
And we have to keep record of that and all this other stuff. If we're just
make sure you're set.
Yeah, we just need to be kosher about it because we don't want to get them taken away again. I got one more over here. Everybody just buy an MTW and an HPA setup from Amped, and then you're set for life. Well, yes, I mean, honestly, the MTWs are freaking awesome. When we are doing our custom builds, we are honestly aiming for that same level of performance. But the MTWs, when we went down to Wolverine's factory and saw their Q&A process and everything, or not Q&A process, their quality control process, it is nuts. And the level of manufacturing, I guess the best way to say it, that they have going on with those guns is nuts. They have a very, very high level to make sure that they are performing crazy good out of the box, which they do. So hats off to them. And yeah, if you just want a down and dirty, quickest way to get a very good setup, grab an MTW, grab one of our player kits, and you're good to go. Do you guys think the Quake 8 grenades will come to the States?
I pulled it up preemptively.
I just saw some of this stuff. There's actually been some of these in the States recently. These are like dope. These are like the Bang 22s almost. They use a one of those.
Wondering what those are.
Yeah,
as well.
Show
the cameras.
They're like a Bang 22 pretty much. They use a one of those like 22 caps from a not a real blank gun, but a like a nail gun. So you can buy them at like Home Depot or anything, and they're pretty easy to get. They're really loud. They are really good, but I know there's some companies in the States that make a version of it. Don't know what the restrictions are on them and why they're not used more in Airsoft, but I'm honestly pretty sure that they are regulated by the state-made ones. I don't know about ones out of state, and if they get imported, if they're going to have regulations on them because they technically use some form of a charge in a grenade. So don't know, and it might be a little bit weird, especially with everything going on with tagging right now. So don't know when those would be coming in.
When are the Wolverine Heretic Labs coming back?
We just had a shipment from Wolverine come in, and I think they already sold out. So you got to be real quick if you want those. And again, notifications, sign up for the notifications on our website. Keep checking back on the website and check the lives because we try and let you guys know as soon as we can if we're in a live. Like, yeah, it's in stock right now. Go grab it.
We're about to be being received. So. Yeah, I mean, we constantly are getting stuff from Wolverine, so I mean, they won't be out for long, but you know, quick to go. So, any SR25 or 308 recommendations? Scar H.
Immediately. Scar H is honestly probably our favorite between the two of us. If you are looking for a pretty quick one to get into, though, I would say that's very accessible. Any of the A&K SR25s or the SEMA SR25s are
G&G too.
The G&G I was going to talk about because the A&K and the SEMA are pretty much clones of each other, and they're very traditional. There's not a lot going on with them. They're just really good AEGs, and you can HPA them pretty easily as well. The G&Gs, like he brought up, are really cool because they have a lot of extra features if you want to keep it AEG. The main one being they have a bolt stop, or they have a last round stop of the gun. So if you're trying to get a training platform more than an airsoft gun, I would go with the G&G because it'll tell you when your mag's empty. You also can't fire it until you hit the bolt on the side again. It's a really cool feature set that I think is really cool coming out of G&G. You can go that route, or you can look into some more exotic routes. Like, honestly, the Scar is a little bit of an exotic, 417. Those are some very interesting ones.
The new Desert Tech.
The Desert Tech, the MDRX would be another really cool one.
I'm trying to think what else on the top of my head.
I mean, if you want to go an AK variant, we have the VSS as well. But that's not 308, that's 9 mil. But that's a DMR. Those are all the ones I would recommend. I mean, like I'm trying to think.
There's some cool stuff that could potentially come out, but we'll see.
Yeah.
It's a personal preference. Okay, that a conversation.
There might be a 308 SIG.
That's what I was referring to.
Yeah, there might be one coming out soon, but
that would be cool. We know nothing. This is all. This is all. Hearsay. We know nothing.
I don't know anything about that.
It'd be awesome if it did, but what type of rifle light y'all recommend that doesn't cost so much but still has to be good?
Streamlight.
Yeah, Streamlight is pretty good. We carry O-Light, so that's pretty bright, general usage light for like indoor airsoft, basic level. I mean, we have spend a lot, so
yeah. I was gonna say we have the really high end stuff. We have some Surefires, but we also just got in the HRT.
Yep, those are awesome.
Crazy flashlights. They're like $260 for like better than a mod light performance.
The throw is fantastic.
Yeah, it's nuts.
It's a really good light. So there's those. But we do have our basic,
Streamlight is my go-to if you're talking about rifle, because you're like getting a really good package, because it comes with a pressure pad, comes with a battery, comes with a mount, and I think it's all about, it's sub $200, like it's $160, $190, somewhere around that for a really good performing rifle light that has been tried and true for many years now. That Streamlight is awesome, and then you also have a pistol light, which is the HL series, the TLR1 series. They're great. That's what I would grab if I'm grabbing a more budget-minded light. They are more expensive than an O-Light. They are more expensive than a knockoff light. But if it's my gun and my preference, I'm grabbing a Streamlight over if I'm going more budget-minded. If I'm going for performance, Streamlight is still in the running for that. But I would go with the HRT light or the Surefire.
Yep, absolutely. My WeGas MP5 is coming in a few weeks. Awesome, man.
Good.
Hope you have fun. Where's Tom? Was he kidnapped? I found him. If you're referring to Wes,
right,
he got kidnapped.
Yeah, Wes.
He was thrown into a trunk and skirted off.
Yeah.
So for re-education. Okay, Oops confirmed Evic was just placed last week, so that's cool. We should have some cool stuff coming. With the gate pulsar, are y'all getting front and rear wired or just rear wired? Both, right? I mean, unless it's just rear, because they're still.
We're getting both in. Okay. If you're talking about, the thing with the pulsar, like the HPA setup, the way it's wired in and the amount of wire that's in it, you actually could get a rear wired one and run it to the front, because there is so much wire that you can use a bunch of the excess to make it go to the front. I'm actually running mine in my grip right now, because that's just easier for me to access than taking my whole stock and everything off, because I have like a little clip on the bottom of my my gun that I'm running it on. But we will be getting both the front and rear wire versions in. But either one, you can probably run it to both, just because of how much wire they have for the battery. I got one over here.
Mm-hmm.
Any chance y'all are doing any sort of events with 878 Airsoft in Waxahachie, I think I said that right, Texas? We haven't been contacted by them.
Waxahachie.
But if you want to reach out to them, to reach out to us,
if you know them,
if you know anything with them, then we always are open to working with any event producer. Once they start getting a little bit farther away, we have to kind of evaluate cost versus how many people are going to show up to the event, just to kind of pay for gas and hotel costs and all that. But we are really open to working with anybody in any state. I mean, honestly, we work with a bunch of Texas guys down there, and we really do like going down to Texas. It's always a fun trip.
It won't be hard.
Yeah,
most likely.
We go down to Texas probably 8 to 10 times in a year, just because of different events. So if they would ever be interested in working with us, we would definitely work. We like working with anybody, honestly.
Even the smaller guys that we want to show up and support growth. So we'll go to anything. What is the best cheese to feast on at 2 a.m. while basking in the light of the fridge door? Definitely Land O'Lakes pepper jack slices.
I bet you were going to say Land O'Lakes tub of unsalted butter.
He said cheese.
I mean,
it's
dairy.
It's dairy,
dairy,
right? If you have access to a microwave, though, brie and some crackers, lightly melt that stuff.
Oh yeah. The best cheese would be brie.
I
You
agree.
get some sesame crackers. You put some brie on that. You put some blackberry jam.
Dude, try honey with brie. Honey, brie, and crackers.
Dude, like habanero honey.
Oh yeah, they have the Mike's Hot Honey.
Yeah.
Forget about it. Forget about
Okay,
it.
so you and I talk about food,
Forget
and Wes and
about
I talk about cars.
Yeah, I can't really offer much to the car conversation. What engine is the best in your opinion?
That's really honestly a budget question and
What you want out of it?
yeah. If you're going for the most finely tuned thing on the planet, you're going to try and go for a dual solenoid system, which is going to be an F2 or a fusion engine. Yes, because they have more tunability because two solenoids can control the airflow in different ways.
F2 is typically the standing answer for all of us.
Yeah, I mean,
F2 is
they fit
versatile.
into anything.
Yep.
They're great. The only other part of that would be if you're just trying to get something that is simple, works well, and is budget minded, I would go with an Inferno or a Jack. They're great, tried and true. They're some of the we sell more of those than anything else because
Affordable.
they're just affordable and they work really well. If you're trying to do mechanical, I would tell you to probably get a N7 Milsim or a Kythera. Because of simplicity, I would probably go with an N7 Milsim just because it just has a very small valve and there's not a lot going on. But if you want that realistic feel, I would go with the Kythera.
Any updates on the field?
Sometime
Check back soon.
Yeah, I mean,
beginning of May is right now. The oops, don't kill me. I'm not sure.
He said May. I'm saying
I've heard beginning of May.
Beginning.
So it's coming. We're all busy as hell, so we don't. Some of these conversations get lost on us.
Yeah.
But as of now, I believe it's beginning of May. So
It's
check our Instagram. There should be a new account, I'm sure, surfacing at some point for the field.
Yep.
First to hear on the live. So just
following up with the 878 Airsoft, he said it's the largest field in Texas currently. They just opened a small indoor as well. So the thing with us is we really only work with fields if they're running their own event and they want us to show up. Or we generally work with event coordinators and we provide vendor services for those events. That's kind of what our niche is just providing vendor services and stuff like that for events that are already being run and coordinated. We just add that extra support level.
right. It's also possible for just to show up and show face.
Yeah.
We have another level of that where we have our tents, we have our trucks, we show up just to be there and show face and support and, attach the amp name to something.
Yep.
So there's plenty of options.
Yeah, if they ever want to work with us, they can reach out to us, or if they have any bigger events where we would even just show up and bring a tent down and kind of just show face, like Eric was saying, we can definitely do that too.
I'm debating on getting an F2 for my Barrett. From what we understand, the Barrett is just a giant version 2 gearbox, so it wouldn't be very difficult.
Which Barrett? Are you talking about the one that's like the licensed Crytek one? That's pretty much just like the
I guess it would be.
Crytek
Yeah, I guess
CRV?
you have to specify.
And what Barrett if it's the Sniper? Because there is the one that you're talking about that's pretty much just a
22.
version 2, and it's
Yeah,
honestly kind of easy to HPA. Or there's the other ones that are more bolt action style.
Chopped HPA Barrett for CQB.
You just have this massive mag.
Should I? So we'll see what he says when
Yeah.
we get down to him. Amped. Will you guys consider importing Bugatti buckings from Germany? Out of all my testing, they are one of the best buckings in the game. Very popular in Europe. I've never heard of them. So I don't see why not. I mean, unless you've heard of them, and
I haven't actually dealt with them a lot.
Try anything.
We really have been trying to push for. There's a lot happening in the UK right now with Airsoft, right? There's a lot of development. There's a big community over there, and in the United Kingdom area, Europe and Germany and Spain, and there's a lot going on with Airsoft. We really do try and bring in any brands that the US doesn't really have access to yet because we're on the East Coast. It does help us a lot because of shipping and everything. So if there's anything you guys want brought in, message our customer service team, message us on Instagram, stuff like that, and we'll try and pull it in. And I'll immediately after this live go look into those buckings and go, hey, Kurt, let's get these in. Let's just try a few out.
Yeah. Can't hurt. I mean, it's just buckings, right?
Yeah. And I mean, buckings are so vital for range and performance and accuracy in Airsoft. So honestly, any buckings we want to get in, I would be more than happy to bring some new stuff in just to try it out. But yeah.
Buying it from y'all. That's the Barrett man.
Oh, okay.
Thoughts on the TMNGRS?
Well,
I have one. I love it. I absolutely love it. Mine's upgraded though, so don't expect to buy an NGRS and have it, fully built shooting very far. But I mean, it's still awesome because it's TM. Also, if you get one, you find out you don't like it, don't send it to us asking us to cut it and put an HPA engine in.
we will not HPA TMNGRSs.
It's too.
It completely defeats the entirety of that system.
We have values here, people. We won't do that.
We will not HPA an NGRS, a GBLS, stuff like that. We will HPA like the electric blowback, like older G&G stuff, or like an electric blowback AK. That's not like crazy.
You reached out and asked still, but
but if the entirety of the purpose of the gun was like made to be a recoil style system, like we HPA T10s, right? Like KWA T10s and stuff like that. Like we'll HPA those. Those aren't that different than a regular gearbox system, but like an NGRS is like a hyperly different system than a regular version 2 gearbox, and we're not touching those because honestly they weren't designed with being HPA'd. A lot of the recoil that's generated off of some of these rifles are also based off of the piston movement. When you get rid of the piston, you get rid of the recoiling aspect of the gun. So a lot of times we don't HPA those guns.
Here's a wild question. What HPA engine would you put into an Echo 1 MTC3? Do you remember what that is? I remember what it is. I'm going to see if you remember what it is.
Is that like that grease gun?
Mm-mm.
Oh, that's the GAT. That's the Echo 1
This
GAT.
is the old weird G36 looking Echo 1 gun that took like an M4 mag.
Oh!
That is a relic from a
hang on a second. I want to pull a photo of that.
Yeah. Probably just an F2. I mean, realistically, or a Jack. I would think it's a.
Oh my God!
I don't know what gearbox it is.
It's a version 3.
Oh, it's a V3.
It's a version 3, so like you could put any.
Fix M4.
That's so weird.
I would say an F2 or a Jack or something that is versatile to work with a complex gearbox.
Whatever you're gonna get, just make sure it's a V3, right? Make sure it's a V3 out of the box because the trigger board is gonna be needed for the V3 gearbox. And then
hit up Polar Star to see what you'd put in it.
Yeah,
because it's probably specific.
It's either the G36 nozzle. There's a few different nozzles for G36 based guns versus AK guns, which both take a version 3. And it really depends on brand. It also depends on what it is. Now that thing being an Echo 1 might take a G36C nozzle. It might take a G36K nozzle, which for some brands it is a different nozzle, which is weird because it's the same base, but it is that way. I would definitely hit a Polar Star about that very niche gun because it is a little bit more of a unique gun. So I would hit a Polar Star and ask them what they would recommend.
Yeah. So back to the 308 conversation. M14 is a good 308. I have to disagree. Respectfully, I have seen those broken in half. I've seen the where the motor sits absolutely torque itself when the gears spin.
Yeah.
The motor cages are infamous for breaking.
So here's my.
I would stay away from M14. If you have luck, amen. Keep running it. Like
the only thing I'm going to say about.
Yeah, you give your opinion.
So my 308. Here's my thing with 308s, right? The idea is DMR. Well, there's an inherent problem, like there is with LMGs, as them being AGs. The amount of wear and tear and abuse an LMG takes, and the amount of wear and tear and abuse a DMR takes is very high compared to a rifleman setup or a SMG setup because you're dealing with higher FPSs or extremely high sustained rate of fire in an LMG's case. So in a DMR, you're trying to push, at some fields, 500, maybe even 550 if it's allowed FPS, which we're talking like 2 joule range, which is a lot of energy for a gearbox to sustain over time. And for the motor to continually pull those, that heavy duty spring back constantly over many months, many years of use. Honestly, immediately when I get a DMR question, I'm immediately HPAing this thing because the amount of wear and tear and the air volume you need to have a really good DMR in Airsoft, I would immediately HPA it. really high amount of tunability, absolutely no like wear and tear at all. You're just controlling how much air is flowing through and when it's not, which is why I have a VSS and I immediately HPA'd it. Now, he has a SCAR H, but it's a TM recoil shock, and he's running it basically as a rifleman setup, not a DMR.
Yeah, so it's shooting 390 FPS with the 2, so it's in that 1.6 joule range.
So wear and tear really isn't that heavy on his. But when you're talking DMRs,
they also have siege techs in mind,
which is
so it's
reinforced.
Right. It's
with the M14. The reason I'm so weird about the M14s is honestly because of their hop-up setup. They have a very, 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 very unique hop-up setup.
It's actually one of the best in the market.
It is.
I've heard the way the top down. I think it's top down, right?
It's a weird. It's a top-down center, but from the bottom, because like you rotate a gear in the magwell, but then it pushes the bucking straight up and down, like directly down on it. It is a really cool.
That is one of the better.
It is probably one of the best design hop-ups, but because of that, we've gotten requests to do M14s, and I've done probably about 8 M14s, and out of all the DMR builds I've ever done, M14s shoot the best.
The hop-up.
It is the hop-up.
Is undeniably one of the best designs called Airsoft. So.
And what you brought up about the motor cage, the really cool part is when you HPA them, you chop the motor cage, and that just becomes where you put the battery and everything. It's really cool. The only downside for it being a DMR for M14 is unless you're doing a full-on EBR kit with a buffer tube, which is not common because the EBR kit doesn't normally use a buffer tube. But if you're using the buffer tube kit, then you can do onboard air. A lot of DMR setups, I know a lot of people try to remove the line because DMRs are generally not doing a bunch of sustained fire like a rifleman is, so you don't need as many shots per game that a rifleman would be using. So with an M14, you would be generally running a remote line. If you're okay with that, I run a remote line on my VSS. I'm okay with it. It really depends on your play style and what you're going for. If you're going for that minimalist kit and look and everything, might not be the best base gun to work with. Same with some bullpup guns. But if you're looking for onboard air and a DMR, like a 308 rifle, just get an SR25 and call it a day. You'll be super happy with that build. Sorry, that was a lot of information.
No, M14s are complex.
I love M14s.
What's the best upgrades for an MTW? That's all you.
Honestly, I'll be frank. I don't touch MTWs out of the box. They come with a maple leaf bucking now. The Macron, not the Super Macron. I think it's a 70 degree. They come with an Omega nub as well. They come with a ZCI barrel. ZCI barrel is not the highest end barrel, but it is a nice upgraded barrel. And out of the factory to come with that nice of an upgraded barrel is pretty freaking awesome. They also tune them from the factory to be really consistent for the FPS that most people are going to be using them for. So out of the box, I would do nothing to them unless you want onboard air, and then I would maybe put a Wraith X onto it. They do make a specific Wraith X for the MTW. Make sure you're grabbing that instead of the AG version. That would be my number one upgrade to do, and I would do the 33 gram version and not the 12 gram, just because you'll get more shots if you're running a rifleman. If you're trying to upgrade bucking and barrel and all that type of a setup, R-hopping it would be the next thing, and probably an edgy barrel would be the only other thing I would say. The hop-ups are really good in those. There are some aftermarket ones that are very good as well, but honestly, for the money and the performance out of the box, I would say there's not really a lot of reason to upgrade those. The only upgrades I would really do that are very quick and very easy and not going to really negatively impact performance would be put an edgy stainless steel barrel in there, R-hop it, and then get an M-nub put into it for the R-hop patch. And then run, instead of the Super Macron, because you've now R-hopped it, I would run the modified black bucking with it. That would be the upgrade to the hop-up I would do, or the hop-up and barrel setup that I would do. That's about the only thing I can think of to do to an MTW that would make it shoot even better. But that's about it.
There you go.
Yeah.
What's your favorite AK to HPA? I know Tom's favorite HK. I'm so excited. My wooden AK that he needs to.
It's definitely not an ENL wooden AK that's been sitting on the wall in tech for months
You're
now.
done with it. You've got to switch the damn nozzle.
And I'm not done with it. I'm not done with it. No, honestly, a 105 is probably going to be my favorite AK to upgrade because it's very simple, straightforward AK, and it's so versatile. 105 is like the best AK you can use, honestly. If you're going for any look, any length, it's a very universal. It just works. They're very easy. You can put a buffer tube on it if you want to do onboard air. I would probably do that. Now, I do really like my VSS. It is not something I would really recommend a lot of people to do as like their first AK HPA because you do have a weird grip and stock and everything, and running the airline out of that, you have to do some modifications to that. I know a lot of people probably wouldn't like so much. So I would just immediately tell people any 105 style AK would be it. If you're looking for simplicity, I would do a SEMA. If you're looking for universalness, I would do an LCT or an ENL. Yeah.
So I've returned. What's it like working there, if you don't mind me asking? We can tell you a little bit, I'm sure. We're like a big family. I mean,
we hate each other daily. No.
Tom would die without me.
I would be fine. I would be improved without you.
Yeah, right.
Working here's an interesting one because I feel like a lot of people, when you look at any airsoft company that's a little bit,
what you think.
It's not.
Basically.
Yeah, there's this idea like I'm now going to be working in airsoft. I already really love airsoft, which it's fun. It's not a normal job. It's definitely not a normal job, but it's also a normal job at the same time. Like there's work that needs done to make the company work. We wouldn't exist without our customers. We wouldn't exist without revenue. We wouldn't exist without profit. We wouldn't exist without it being run like an actual business. So those are all things to consider if you're trying to come on board with us, that this still is a company that needs to be run and all that. At the same time,
we care a lot. We're here because we're passionate about what we do.
Yeah, and we're meme lords at the same time too. So like you got to have a sense of humor if you're coming on board.
F2 Barrett, good or bad idea? Well, we'll keep scrolling down and see, but let us know if you haven't, what kind of Barrett it is, whether it's a rifle, M82, the sniper.
Because we do sell the actual Barrett sniper rifle, but it's not an HPA one. Let me know which one you're talking about. The like heavy duty sniper rifle one or the actual M4.
Heretics are coming back. Just keep your eyes peeled.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, y'all don't duct tape a cheap flashlight from the gas station to your AK for nighttime? Well, there's reference pictures.
You definitely can do that.
There's reference pictures.
You 100% can do that, and then it's totally kosher.
Amazon thermals duct taped to the back of 105s, 104s in Ukraine. So
I almost duct taped my thermal to mine the other day on my
kosher
VSS.
now, so, well, hello there. Hello. 7.3 diesel. I don't know what that means.
I'm assuming truck.
Are you guys going to be at Central Front this weekend?
We will not.
Central Front this weekend?
Central Front.
Oh, no. It's the one we don't
Central Front is the only AMS we do not go to. Every other AMS we will be at.
Yep. Support your local fields. That's that is the best thing to say. Good afternoon, boys.
Good afternoon.
Hi, Roberto. Afternoon cut. You guys are now having a conversation without us. I see how it is.
I mean, that's
how long have you guys been airsofting, and what's the experience you have got out of it, and how do you feel that you can pass it forward?
That's a great question. Do you want to do yours first, then I'll do mine?
Probably overlaps.
Yeah.
So you just go ahead.
Eric and I a lot of us grew up in the same local community. A lot of the people that are like kind of here for a long time. Same with Wes. We all grew up kind of in the same local area and grew up playing in the same local fields. I've been playing for probably
50. Like I'm like 15.
I'm like 15, 16 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the best way, I mean, honestly, him and I working at the company we're working at are in kind of a unique position to pass it forward. We're in front of people all the time, and we're constantly in front of people not in our area. And we're constantly in front of people who would potentially be getting into airsoft. I feel like a lot of the way, me personally, I feel like a lot of the way we can pass it forward is promote noobs, right? Promote noobs.
Absolutely.
And just get these younger guys happy and wanting to play. Make it a positive time their first time out. Make it a fun time. Make it super encouraging for them. If they're, if they need, hey, maybe don't blind fire, something like that. Like if they need some type of encouragement or change of course, you need to do it in a positive way, not start crapping on them because they don't know anything. Like passing on knowledge is very helpful.
And that goes in the trailers too, not even just playing. Like my last trip was Kentucky for Noob Day for ACS Airsoft. If you don't know what that is, check it out. A lot of young kids there, and it comes down to being very patient with them in the trailer, understanding. I can't tell you how many times I got handed just a lob of cash that I had to count, which is fine because
That's adorable.
I understand it's a learned quality, but like it's patience with stuff like that, and patience with the questions, patience with how much is this? Oh, not right now, and just being kind, being patient, understanding, a lot of respect, a lot of mutual respect for younger people and people that are new to the hobby goes a long way. So.
I think there's two groups of people that are coming into Airsoft, and it used to only be. I feel like these two groups have kind of evolved in a little bit of a way, but the same two groups that have always been coming to Airsoft. One is kids, that's how we started. And I think a lot of the thing that if you are a person who is trying to get somebody involved and either your business or even if you just want to get your friends involved, I feel like a really cool way to get a younger person to get involved is related to video games. A lot of people are playing video games that are first-person shooters, and you relate it to, hey, cool PP19 in COD right now. We sell those. Do you want to try that out, or do you even want to? I have one. Do you want to play with it this game?
Something different in COD. They all are.
They are.
What the PP19 in COD. Tom, what's the PP19? He has earbuds in. The Vityaz. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what it is in COD. So
you relate that back to a video game or a very recognizable thing for a younger person. They go, oh, it's super cool. Let me try that out. Or the secondary group would be people who are in the greater firearms community, the military community, the first responders community. That is always the other group that seems to float into Airsoft either from a training perspective, mind.
They understand how actually realistic it can get.
Yeah, or it's the guys who got out of the military that kind of still want to be doing stuff that's, I was doing training with my buddies and now we're out of the military, our whole unit got out, but I still want to be doing something that's active and kind of I get to keep using my gear that I still had in the military. That's another group. And they, I think, have different experiences and they look at it and they get other things out of Airsoft that a younger person wouldn't, or a regular player who's been playing for a long time wouldn't. So those are the two groups. And I feel like with those types of individuals, you just promote how much fun it can be and how relaxing it can also be, a way to blow off steam, a way just a normal hobby is what it could be for other groups of people. So I think, like Eric was saying, I think the biggest thing is just mutual respect. And even for somebody who's younger than you, that might be a little bit hard, but patience and respect is a very big deal. And somebody who's older than you is a very big deal as well, as patience and respect for somebody who doesn't know as much as you might know about this sport. I think those are very, very big things to
reading the room.
Yeah.
When and when not to lace somebody up in the back of the head and choose your targets.
Yeah.
So that goes for, that's not a knock at any other version of Airsoft. That's everything. So 6mm Pro. So he does have the M82. So it is possible.
It's possible. Email in. And honestly, if you want one and we sell it in the 6mm Pro, it's the actual sniper rifle one, email in. I will do a custom one for you. And then that also.
We've been meaning to do one.
Yeah, we've been honestly meaning to put that on the website. Email in, I'll do one for you.
Cut that and Ross are having a convo in our comment section.
What are you doing?
How do you take apart a Wraith airstock?
Are you talking about the old Wraith or the Wraith X? The Wraith X actually has a really good diagram. If you use the QR code to bring up the manual on your phone and stuff, they have a really good breakdown diagram on how to take it apart. I would go by that. And if you're having a lot of other questions, I think they have a What the Tech video on it as well. So go on to Wolverine's YouTube channel and you can see the What's the Tech video on it. If you're talking about the older generation, it's honestly just a bunch of different screwed together parts that are kind of big and bulky. And if you're trying to maintenance it, I would honestly reach out to Wolverine before you do that, because some of those O-rings might be harder to find. So I would reach out to Wolverine before you start taking anything apart, because they might just do it for you, and then it doesn't void any like warranty or anything. So that.
If I get hired, let me bring my dog to work. Well, funny enough, we have a cat,
Yeah, there's a cat in my
a
office
dog,
right now. Mika's.
2 other dogs that sometimes come in.
Yeah.
So as long as your dog plays well with other animals
And people. And customers.
people and customers and opening doors and loud noises and
Testing
compressors
guns
and and lines and
it's still a place of work.
And
so like they
wrapping paper.
Yeah. Cardboard.
Email notifications.
Yeah. If you are working here and you're trying to bring an animal into work, we'll probably have a talk about it first, have the animal in, see if it works out. If it works out, okay, just chill, whatever. Our office space there's a few different offices, like closed off ones. Like the one we're in right now is accounting and media. So there's a door on it. Tech has a door on it, but some of the other offices in the building don't actually have a door on them. So like I have a cat in my office right now, but tech has a door on it. We're not going to have a cat roaming around the building because it's a cat and it can get into stuff more than a dog can, because it's very small. Depending. But like when we have some of the dogs in production, we put a doggy door up and or like a fence, and they just stay in production. So Miko is our owner's dog, Kurt. He kind of roams because he's good at he gets along with everybody and he's okay to roam.
Except when he yaks.
Except when he yells at the mailman.
The mailman, he eats the mailman.
But
the mailman is afraid.
We're kind of a chill environment when it comes to a work environment, but we're still, like I said, at the end of the day, business. If it's going to be disruptive, then we're probably going to tell you, this isn't working out.
Yeah. On my kit everywhere, VM4 is an adjustable FPS, but how do I put an M16? Well, I want to put an M16 stubby stock on it. How screwed am I? I mean, just get your FPS to where you want it and put it on.
Yeah, because the adjustable thing is it's like a hex key. So, and I think it only goes about a certain way into the buffer tube, because the T6 actually uses the same style of adjustment, and that has that really stubby chunk stock on it instead of a full-on stock. So you could probably put a stubby on it without any modifications and be fine. The only thing is the screw that the stubby uses to go into the buffer tube to be mounted might be a different thread than what's already being used in that system. So you will probably have to look at that. You might need to go to a hardware store and get a different screw for it, but you shouldn't have that many issues other than the thread and the length of the screw. I would look into that.
Favorite field, coolest event. My favorite field I've ever played on was actually a Lion Claws event, and it was an old rundown abandoned amusement park in like around Niagara Falls. My coolest event, favorite event, not counting the field, I don't even know. I mean, I've had a lot of fun at Grimnir games, but
yeah,
I don't know what my favorite event I've ever played is.
My favorite field is right now
I think about that
between two, and I'm not talking indoor fields because indoor fields are very different. My favorite field is Muscatuck is honestly one of my favorite military training facilities. It is crazy cool. And then my favorite outdoor field is Tolcom in Massachusetts. I love Tolcom. I love Tolcom.
Oh, my favorite event I've probably been to. I really enjoyed the first Brimstone at Panthera.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
My favorite event was also a Grimnir one. It was Captivus, which
you LARPed.
That was my favorite event. All I did was walk around with a cigar and yell at people. Like that.
And we just had so many great movements.
Yeah.
40-hour at Panthera.
That was the one I couldn't go to.
No, you were there. It was the one where we had the.
Oh no, that was
the first one.
That was the first one. Actually, that was really
the last
cool.
time we ran the military faction.
That was really cool.
Then
we just jump around
playing op for pretty much.
If you guys are looking to go to a Grimnir one,
awesome.
Arclight's coming up. That's gonna be at Skirmish. Oh, Radio Silence was a crazy good op. Oh,
that was the only one I haven't.
Radio Silence might be my absolute favorite one that I've
heard great things.
Like shot people at, not LARPed at. Grimnir Radio Silence was crazy awesome, but also My other top favorite op was Midsummer last year for Stag Ops. I would have to say it's between Midsummer and Radio
I
Silence.
want
my
to
two
come
favorite.
to that this year. Whether I just play or
Boy, it's
yeah, it sounds like fun.
it's so much fun. It's so much fun.
Can Inferno fit into a 421?
Yes.
There you
If
go.
you have one of the newer ones, you got to mod the living crap out of it, but it can
The
fit.
dremel skills are good.
And electrical skills. You got to do some custom soldering to.
Tonio, Lambda Mark 48 restock when? I don't know, but you could ask me.
Probably our next Evi quarter. We get them
Should
in
be here.
through
Yeah,
Lambda.
should be here in the next couple of weeks.
Yep.
Can
you HPA my
Where's
dog?
Wes? He needs his info. He's sleepy.
He's not in today. He got a little sick. We could do quiz time now, or we could do quiz time next week.
Time for your info and quiz question, Tom. Why can't I do that? I guess I'm too elite for these quiz questions. So,
can you HPA my dog?
Absolutely.
Everything can be HPA'd. HPA the world.
We'll dremel him. This is Vic answering questions as well.
Yep. S2M14 is.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, here we go. Code of Federal Regulations require logbooks for pretty much every single thing that happens on a ship. Okay. They usually are specific to their area of interest, such as a deck or engine log.
All right. Right. Okay.
All right, Eric/Tom, here's your question.
Don't we sell dye lenses?
I think we do sell certain dye lenses, but they come in and out.
A deck log does not keep track of which of the following: speed changes, engine RPMs, positions coordinated, weather reports. I would say weather reports have to be a must.
Yeah, I would say you're definitely
position coordinates as well.
Yeah. RPMs and speed,
they're close.
I would say speed is not recorded because I feel like for maintenance, you would probably want to log the average RPM that the engines are running at. So I'm gonna say speed.
Yeah. I think the second I saw speed, I would have went with it. So let's see. Speed. Final answer.
Speed. I have to go pretty quickly, but the answer is B. Really, RPMs. Okay.
Well, okay, we're close.
Yeah.
We did the process of elimination. How is their Phoenix hop up?
Phoenix hop up is really good. The Phoenix hop up's design is honestly probably one of the better things that I think it's probably one of the more innovative things as far as a hop up system has come out with, because bucking lip tension is actually a really big deal for proper FPS, proper consistency, and shot placement. So Phoenix hop up's a really, really cool idea, and it works pretty damn well.
Cole says 104 versus 105. I don't know, Cole. What mag do you like better?
Yeah, that's about it. I would say the 105 because I like 545 mags because they fit better in M4 pouches if you don't want to change your kit up so much. That curve of an actual 7.62 mag is not the best for universal kit. So 105 for me.
And then I mean
that's about it.
I think Cole's being silly.
He's being fun.
I think he's being a silly boy. Brittany asking for free stuff on the live. Bad looks.
Brittany,
Airsoft Brittany.
Do you need help?
Oh no.
What's wrong with Airsoft Brittany?
She's asking for free stuff.
The Airsoft Brittany asking for free stuff?
There it is. I hear it every week. So
Soviet Union, drugs. Thank you.
Very nice.
Soviet Union is into drugs.
Can I put the Action Army 510 603 AG in our barrel? Yeah, you should be able to.
Yeah.
That will.
G&G TR16 TR16 takes AG barrel, so you should be fine with that.
Yeah, so this guy definitely has the M82 if it's 6mm.
Okay. If you bought it off of our website and everything, we can definitely just grab that gun before it goes out and do an HPA build on it. If you
he probably already ordered it, so he has it. So you have to send it in.
Email us and we can talk. I would be interested in doing that for you. If it's exactly what I'm thinking it is. If it's not, I might not be able to do it for you, but we can talk in the emails.
I think that's the one we've had in here, I believe.
Okay.
I appreciate Curtis helping with the source of non-stock replica and addressing all of my questions. We're happy to help, especially Kurt. Kurt loves to dip his fingers in once in a while and answer some questions. It takes some relief our customer service guys. So and he loves to do it.
This one guy said that he supports drugs. Cool.
Uh-oh.
Just switch to.
We lost her. We ran out of time.
What?
We're probably out of we're out of time.
Wow.
Now we're over.
Wow, I was not even paying attention. Sorry about that, guys. We just started going crazy. You guys have been nuts with the comments. So Instagram just kicked us. Yeah, we didn't even get down to the bottom. Instagram just kicked us for being the hour limit. Sorry. So, but everybody on YouTube, I'm gonna answer this last question, then we're gonna get out of here. Just to be fair to the guys on Instagram. Just switched to dye mask, wondering what my options to drop stock and MTW, or should I just riser my red dot? Easiest way to do it is riser the red dot. Off the bat, get a UTG riser, you're good to go. They sell a Picatinny one that can work with any red dot, good to go. They also do sell a drop stock adapter for the MTWs because of the Heretic Labs speed soft guns that they're making. You can use one of those drop stock adapters on a regular MTW because they are pretty much the exact same specs. They just look a little different for styling for speedsoft versus Milsim, but you can use that drop stock adapter to work better with your dye mask so that you can still look at your red dot. But with that, guys, I'm going to say bye. Eric is dealing with the Instagram stuff, so thank you guys so much. Sorry that we weren't watching the time, but thank you guys for joining, and we'll see you guys